Shalom, shalom. And the title of this lesson is Esau must be taken out of the way so the elect of Israel can receive the kingdom under Yahawashi. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to the one true power that always makes this possible. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. And a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect that are scattered four corners of the earth, teaching his word and believing in his word. Lord willing, as a whole, that you all can continue in sound doctrine. Shalom to the Akwaf, the sisters of his faith and his truth. Lord willing, that you continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord willing, Yahawashi has mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not of faith. So from the beginning, two nations were appointed with two destinies. Esau to rule for a time, and Jacob to receive the everlasting kingdom, but the kingdom cannot come until Esau's rule is removed. Okay? So let's just get into the point of this lesson. So this is Matthew, the 28th chapter, verse 20 in the KJV. It says, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I command you, and lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. Amen. In the NLT, it says, teach these new disciples to obey all the commands I have given you. And be sure of this, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. So let's actually go into this word, world. In the NLT, it says end of the age. Now, this world is not cosmos, G165, as you see. So that means this is going to have a different meaning of world.
Strong's G165, Ion.
Ion. So when you go to the biblical usage, it says forever, an unbroken age, the world's universe, period of time, or age. And this is a period of time and age. Just like when we actually just go back to the NLT and just read that again. Teach these new disciples to obey all the commands I have given you. And be sure of this, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. What is the end of the age? Esau's rule. Because Esau was only meant to rule for a time, and Jacob was to receive an everlasting kingdom. But the kingdom cannot come until Esau's rule is removed. So let's go to my other Bible app real quick. The point we're paying attention to is verse 9, but let's start at verse 6. This is 2 Ezra chapter 6, verse 6. Then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone, through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first? In the beginning of it that followeth. The first is the age of Esau. Okay? In the beginning of it that followeth is what was supposed to establish in Jacob, ruling forever. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, synonymous with Esau, with Yahawashi taking down Esau, right? Because Esau is going to be on high and Jacob is going to be low. Verse 9, for Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Right? The beginning of a new age, the beginning of true life, the beginning of immortality, the beginning of actually dwelling with Yahawashi. Okay, so Esau's fall precedes Jacob's rise. That's why our salvation is intertwined with Esau's destruction. He has to get out the way or be taken out of the way for us to get our salvation. So there's no kingdom of Israel under Yahawashi until the current rulership is taken out of the way, synonymous with Jacob taking Esau by the heel. Now, let me go back. Let's go to this just real quick. Just want to get this. Because the mindset of the elites, they understand this, right? If they can go to different countries, find gold, silver, mines, they came over here, had explorers. You think that they're not getting the top scholars to investigate the scriptures? You don't think they got top men watching and analyzing the men of the Lord teach this word and say what we say and look at the scriptures and be like, oh, snap. Like the brother Yeremiah Yarmayan at work, he was like, Esau know what's going on and he's still fulfilling the will of the Lord. This is another example to know there's no free will, because if Esau had power, wouldn't he, if he was smart enough, if he knows what's going on, wouldn't he try to do something else? But none of us can avoid what the Lord is setting up, just like Abraham, just like Moses, right? Jeremiah said he wasn't going to teach in the name of the Lord. The Lord put that fire in him. Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, verse 10, he's going to, Russia is going to hear that thought in their head, really is the Lord, and they're going to press that button, right? This is Revelations 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he has but a short time. This verse said he knoweth. How do he know? Judith, the 5th chapter, they understood if we sin, that it was going to be the heir of us, and they would be able to consume us, and it would be our ruin. But if it's no heir in our nation and we cleave back to the Lord is going to fight for us, and they're going to become a reproach. So they know who he is. They know what's going on. So they're in the knowing, and they see that now that we got that breath of life from the chapter before Revelation 12, the 11th chapter, that we're standing on our feet in front of the midst of the men that afflicted us, regardless if they watching us on the TV. Like if y'all ever watched the movie The Matrix, the first one, when the dude, or is it the second one, when the dude was in a room with all the cameras, they're watching us through this technology. They don't got to be directly in our face. They got agents, they got government officials, they got their hands in the cookie jar because it's theirs. Okay? So let's look at Esau's temporary rulership was foretold. Okay? So let's get to these classics. Genesis, the 25th chapter, going to verse 23. It says, and Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manners of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. These are the main characters of the whole Bible. Israel as a whole by bloodline, and Esau as the wicked. As a whole, these are the main characters. So 2 nations is in the womb. So these are going to be 2 different nationalities, 2 different nations, 2 different manners. They're going to have 2 different mannerisms. And they're going to be separated from the bow, one this way, that one this way. One people going to be stronger than the other, which is really Jake, right? We're naturally stronger than our brother, technically, because we're really the sons of God. Esau has to use these carnal weapons to go against us and try to go against Hamashiach Yahawashi. And the elder shall serve the younger. Esau was meant to serve under us. Okay? So the elder is ruling first. The Greek captivity, the Rome captivity, and this captivity that we're in right now, where they're ruling the whole earth. In the time of Solomon and David, they didn't get to rule the whole earth. We were ruling our land, had nations in subjection. Solomon had people going to other places. But in this kingdom to come under Yahawashi, we're going to fully understand the world was made for our sakes, let alone we're going to be going to other mansions that's outside of this earth, which we wasn't able to do in the time of David and Solomon. Jacob the younger is ruling last and forever. Let's go to another classic, Job, the 9th chapter, verse 24. We're putting the puzzle together. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Who is the judges? The judges throughout all the Bible, from Adam, from Abraham, Noah, to the 12 tribes of Israel, all the way to Yahawashi. They're covering the faces of the judges. Yahawashi is the judge, right? When we go into the word, let's actually go, let me just go to this real quick. Genesis, just to show you, judge. This is Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, the Elohim created the heavens and the earth, right? So HG30, which is really Elohim, right here, Elohim. What is the Elohim? Rulers, judges, divine ones, angels, gods. Who are the judges? Right? Judges is even angels that Esau made himself look like. Yahawashi, the heavenly father, the 12 apostles, the judges in the book of Judges, right? The apostles are the prophets, the evangelists, Moses, every man of the Lord, they made in their own freaking likeness. Okay? So Esau's rulership is by permission, not permanent, right? I want to get something else because they made the judges of themselves. This is, I believe this is the one we want. Job 13, verse 4. It says, but ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value, right? So they push their false image because they're forgers of lies, but they were given the power to do. The earth is given to the hands of the wicked, right? But I have to bring this out. I would be rude if I don't. Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. When the Renaissance was established, this is when Esau rebuilt the desolate places. Look at us now. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. The Lord is just allowing them to build because he's going to throw the shit down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness in the people against whom Yahweh have indignation forever. Esau, nobody can ever get past what Esau is, the border of wickedness. But of course, we have Jake, which, especially you 2/3, you go overboard than what Esau did, of course, because you're an Israelite. That's what makes it even worse. But Esau as a nation is the borderline of wickedness. It cannot get worse. But Esau must be removed before the kingdom appears. Right? 2 Thessalonians. It's another classic. And I think I brought this out in another lesson, I think, a few days ago. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7. For the mystery of iniquity doeth work already. Iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. Right? Esau has to be taken out of the way for us to get this kingdom. Then shall the wicked be revealed. Who is the wicked? Those that are the borderline of wicked, which is Edom, whom Yahweh Shemashai shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. He's being consumed now because he's being revealed. We're taking the veil off and pointing. That's him, the so-called white man and woman, the YT, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. We're bringing out the parables, the dark sayings, the prophecies, pointing out Esau as an attribute. He's going to live by the sword. Who's the main one that goes over into nations saying that pushing his legislation on the earth, right? Let's see if we can go to it. So like y'all type in. This is what I just wanted to get real quick. The U.S. overseas military footprint. There's no nation on the earth that has more military footprint than United States. Right? You see that? Screenshot it, take it in, go look it up even for yourself. Go look up other nations too. Let me slide back over. So just because of that, I want to go to Daniel, the 7th chapter, and I believe it's verse 23. It says, thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which is really Rome. Rome was the fourth kingdom on the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms and shall devour the whole earth and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. Rome did not devour the whole earth. Rome only ruled a good amount, a portion of land. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing again. Okay, so if we was to look at this, let me look at this one. This is all the known land Rome ruled. Everything that is red. Everything that is red is the stretch that Rome ruled. Click it, screenshot it, mark it. Look it up for yourself. Now going back to where we was. Daniel 7:23. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms and shall devour the whole earth and shall tread it down and break it into pieces. This fourth beast is speaking about, it's still Rome. It's speaking about verse 8, which we understand in Revelations 13 that it was wounded, but it healed. Daniel 7:8, and I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn their eyes were like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. Now this is a fast forward to America. And it's the 3 horns is plucked up is going into the 3 wars that America had to go through to make its independence. The Spanish, the French, and the British War. Okay? But again, you can always go read Revelation, the 13th chapter, and you can see where it was speaking about Rome was wounded, but then it healed. Okay, this is Rome 2.0. So again, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7 and 8, that then shall the wicked be revealed. Wicked is those ruling powers opposed to Yahawashi. They must be taken out of the way. Then Yahawashi establish order. So let's drop back down, verse 26 to 27. It says, but the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, the fourth kingdom, to consume and to destroy it unto the end. When Babylon is destroyed, their dominion is dwindled, is taken. Okay? And the kingdom and dominion in the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominion shall serve and obey him, which is Yahawashi under Yahweh. And then even Daniel 2 and 4, his kingdom is going to be without end. It's going to be forever, ever, and ever. Okay? So this kingdom has to be destroyed because Babylon is that great mountain. Isaiah the 13th chapter, verse 2. Lift up a banner upon the high mountain. Exalt the voice unto them. Shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the noble. Right? The banner is this word. It's this truth. And upon the high mountain. So we lifting up this truth on this high mountain, which is America. And exalt the voice, which we're prophesying, and we're shaking the hand, rebuking it. Right? Because the Lord even said, turn to Mount Seir and prophesied against it. It's not speaking of the place, it's speaking of the people of Mount Seir, which would be the Edomites. But I gotta, I think, get a precept for mountain. I believe it's Revelation 17 and 9. Revelation 17 and 9. It says, and here is the mind which have wisdom. The 7 heads are the 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. And there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. When he cometh, he must continue a short space. That's speaking about America. Is going to continue in a short space, because when America is established, of course, when they fulfill Obadiah 1, 3, and 4, it was really 1969 marked the end of Esau. But when it said the 7 heads, the 7 mountains, and there are 7 kings, the 7 mountains are 7 kingdoms, 7 kings. Okay? So Babylon in Isaiah the 13th chapter, verse 2, that high mountain, America is a high kingdom. It's over all. That's why it's a whore on that diverse beast in Revelation the 17th chapter. Okay? So the saints, which is Israel, don't receive the kingdom until the ruling power is removed. So Yahawashi will bring Esau down, right? Of course, dealing with this captivity. Isaiah 63, starting at verse 1. Who is this that cometh from Edom with thy garments from Basra, talking about the capital, which America would be that capital, that this is this that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength, I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save, wherefore art thou red in thy apparel and thy garment, like him that treadeth in the wine fat. I have tried the wine press alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in my anger and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain my raiment. Right? It's not going to be blood on Yahawashi's garment or hand, but through the Spirit, it is blood by him. So symbolically, he has blood on his hand, because Zephaniah 1 verse 6 to 9 is going to be a sacrifice. It's going to be a sacrifice, and the Lord is preparing his guests. You know, and for you brothers and sisters, you better hope you're not part of those guests, and that those guests that are Israelites are the 2/3. So Yahawashi personally execute judgment before the kingdom is established. Right? So the transition from power is the end of Esau and the beginning of Jacob. So it's a live that I just did, and I'm going to get these precepts, these verses, and we're just going to read through them. So this 2nd Ezra chapter 6 verse 54. After these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we are, in the people also whom thou hast chosen. Right? 18 nations in the earth, 1 nation is chosen. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. Why would he say our? Because Ezra is an Israelite, a priest. As for the other people, which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but to be like unto spittle, right? The other 17 nations, are nothing, and they are spittle. It has likened abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. That's what they're compared to, right? Nothing coming out of a vessel, a drop that falleth. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen which have ever been reputed as nothing have begun to be lords over us to devour us. Why? Because we have sinned and we transgressed the laws of Yahawashi. Daniel 9, verse 11 to 12. You got the prayer of Azariah, chapter 1, verse 4 to 9. You got Baruch, chapter 4, verse 6 and 7. And the list can keep going on, especially in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, starting at verse 43. But you can even start up at 15. Salaki. Verse 58. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? It's going to endure for a appointed time, right? We do have an inheritance, but we're not receiving that full inheritance, right? Until Yahawashi return. I hope this, oh man. Salaki, I keep typing. No. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. For the vision is yet for appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Right? Everything has an appointed time. I had another precept, but I kind of lost it in my mind. But everything is appointed for its own time, basically to be fulfilled or to be set. Right? Oh, now it came back to mind. I'll praise the Yahawashi. So I want to get this in the Amplified, the AMP Bible, because we understand that you got like a nice portion of your inheritance right now through the Spirit. Ephesians 1 and 14, the Amplified, it says, the Spirit is the guarantee, the first installment, the pledge, a foretaste of our inheritance unto the redemption of the Most High's own purchased possession, his believers, which is the elect, to the praise of his glory. So that foretaste, right, of that first installment is the Rakak Hadash of your inheritance. So this is like that one guarantee, because it says the Spirit is the guarantee. So this is the first installment. This is the guarantee of that inheritance. So those that truly believe is going to be filled with the Rakak Hadash, starting with the teachers of the words. Of the words of Yahawashi Yahawashi. So when we was looking at 2nd Ezra 6, 54 to 59, Israel was chosen above all people. When we look at Deuteronomy 7 and 6, Deuteronomy 14 and 2, man, so many precepts. World made for our sakes, but Israel cannot inherit it while other nations rule. Plain and simple, So, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 3. For power is given you of Yahawashi Yahawashi, and sovereignty from the highest. Who shall try your works and search out your counsels? So Esau's judgment, transfer of authority. Okay, let me start at verse 1. It says, hear therefore, O ye kings, Esau is a king on earth right now. And understand and learn, ye that be judges of the ends of the earth, which we are in the ends of the earth, give ear, ye that rule the people, in glory in the multitudes of nations. For power is given you of Yahawashi Yahawashi. Daniel 2 and 21. The Lord set up kings and remove kings. Daniel 4:17, he give the kingdom to whomsoever he wants, and he gives it to the base of men, the lowest of men. Job, the 30th chapter, he even said that he wouldn't even let these people sit next to his dog, right? They dwell in the cliffs of the rock. They're base men. That's the lowest of people. And I think it's Sirach, the 49th or the 50th chapter, is 3 things the Lord detests, which he intensely dislike, which is the Philistines, the stupid Samaritans, and a people that don't deserve to be called a nation, which is the Edomites. For the power is given you of Yahawashi and sovereignty from the highest, who shall try your works and search out your counsels. And that's what he's doing through the Spirit. Even when we look at Amos 9:8, the Lord is watching the sinful kingdom. First Israel, which is truly is the sinful kingdom, and even in a prophetic sense, he's looking at Babylon, which is the sinful kingdom, that high mountain on the earth. Especially if you was to look at other nations don't even move or have legislations and all this other extra bullshit like America do. Okay, so the elect received the kingdom under Yahawashi. Lord willing, we are of that number, man. I hope, brothers and sisters, is striving. This is Revelation 11:15. It says, "And the 7th angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven, saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord," right? Of Yahweh, and of his Hamashiach, and he shall reign forever and ever. And through the Spirit, this kingdom is become Yahawashi's, because we see it's getting it's getting quickly closer to the fall of this kingdom. Revelations 12:12. They got a short time. This is why they bringing forth all their little bullshit devices right now. Right? So sliding over to Revelations 2, verse 26. It says, "And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shiver, even as I receive of my Father." Wait, even as Yahawashi receive of his Father, those that overcome is going to receive the same? Psalms 110. David was saying this through the Spirit. Verse 1, Psalm of David. Yahweh said unto my Lord, which was Yahawashi, sit at my right hand until I make thy enemies thy footstool. If they're going to be his footstool, they're going to be our footstool. Yahweh shall send the rod of thy strength out of Zion, which is Yahawashi. Rule thou in the midst of thy enemies. So even though Yahawashi is going to rule in the midst of our enemies, we're going to rule in the midst of our enemies. Because of what? Being joint heirs. Okay? Joint heirs. The elect receive rulership after the downfall of Esau's system. Okay? So the core truth of this lesson, and the point of this lesson, Esau is ruling right now. Regardless if you don't want to accept it or if you do. Esau is the so-called white man. And it's plainly able to see that he is the so-called Edomite. Esau must be removed, right? He is a virus. Then Jacob, Israel, the elect, shall rise under Yahawashi forever. Esau is the end of this age, and Yahawashi shall be the one to bring him down. Then Jacob's rulership begins. Right? Like Yahawashi said that, the 12 was going to be with him in the resurrection, and they were going to sit on 12 thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Lord willing, you strive into the truth. Sirach 4:28, strive for the truth until death, and Yahawashi shall fight for you. With that, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to the one true power that always makes this possible. Yahawashi, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. A mighty shalom to the hopeful elect in the same Spirit. Shalom to the Akwaf, the sisters of this faith. Lord willing, as a whole, that y'all all continue in sound doctrine. Lord willing, Yahweh Shemashai has mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. So with that, shalom, shalom, abababal.